nothing. Nothing happens when you play Borderlands 2 for the PS Vita in 2019. It's gonna work today, and it's gonna work tomorrow. It's gonna work next year as well. I'm not sure about 2048 though. I mean, it's a video game. What do you think's gonna happen when you play it? What kind of asinine question is that? That's like making a video and calling it, what happens when you get a good night's rest in 2019? You people are driving me crazy with these titles. Throughout my years of making reviews on YouTube, there's always one game people keep asking me to go back to. More specifically, they feel like I need to do a second review, as if the recent patches and updates somehow fixed a lot of the complaints I had with it the first time. That game is Borderlands 2 for the PlayStation Vita. I actually had high hopes the second go around. With its many recent firmware patches, I thought I would see a game more in line with Killzone Mercenary. Just kidding, that was a joke. But seriously, with what people have been telling me, I was hoping to come back to a game that I wouldn't even recognize. Sadly, that wasn't the case. So where should I begin? Well, let's start with the good. The graphics are still decent. We'll get to performance in a little bit. Graphics-wise, at least when there's few objects on the screen, is alright. I stand by what I said about the visuals all those years ago. Character designs are nice, and the open environments are bright and colorful, even though they can seem a little claustrophobic on the Vita's 5-inch screen. I still don't think there's enough screen real estate for the amount of stuff that's on display here though. I will take back the thing I said about the weapons. For you guys who don't know, I mentioned how the weapon detail were on par with the ones from Killzone Mercenary in my original review. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. The weapon effects and design is nowhere near the quality of Killzone Mercenary. There, I said it. Are you guys happy now? In terms of performance, has it changed? No. Even with the 1.09 update, it still plays like shit. Pardon my French, but I just wanted to let you guys know how I feel about this game. There's still too much loading, mostly during checkpoints and especially for textures at the beginning of each stage. But the worst thing has to be the frame rate. I honestly don't remember it being this bad when I reviewed it back in 2014. Maybe I was a lot more lenient back then with my reviews. The entire game just chugs. It feels like the whole thing is running at 10 frames a second. I mean, what is this crap? Did I actually find this acceptable back then? I also notice how there's always a slight stutter when an object explodes or when I'm firing some sort of heavy shotgun. It gets so annoying and totally ruins the flow of the game. Even collecting items doesn't feel smooth. It's like everything you do causes the frame rate to drop. Taking a hit, firing a weapon, and aiming is almost impossible because sometimes the game is still trying to play catch up with what's happening in the previous frame. Sometimes it'll get so bad you won't even know what's going on. Not only that, I also started getting nauseous as well. It's never a good sign when you get physically ill while playing a game. And trust me, I've played plenty of games. If you're highly sensitive to motion sickness, then I would suggest staying away from this game. It's still playable, mind you, but at this point in time, do you really want to put up with that? I really don't know what else to say other than it runs like dookie. Like, I can't find an instance where the frame rate is consistent. It's all over the place. Even running with nothing on the screen feels jittery, and you can forget it when multiple enemies are on screen. Funny thing is, it doesn't look so bad in this footage here, but trust me, you'll notice it when you're actually playing the game. Luckily, it controls exactly as I remember. Although this time I don't have the problem of accidentally throwing out a melee attack like I did a few years back. It's probably just a result of years of experience with holding the actual PS Vita. Or maybe I'm just that good. But I don't think any of that matters since the horrible frame rate throws everything off. That includes the controls. I feel like I'm just swinging my gun around fighting with the horrible frame rate most of the time. I think over the years when people were telling me to go back and play it again, I thought for some reason the entire game has somehow been completely patched up or something. But no, it's still as choppy as I remember it. Maybe even worse. And now since I've been on YouTube for a while, I'm a lot less forgiving. Whereas I would have recommended this before, I think I'm gonna have to give this game a pass this time around. I'm really sorry guys. I don't mean to crush anybody's dreams out there today, but I just don't think this is a very good port at all. It's still a good game though, so don't get that confused. But if you want to play it, track down any other version other than the PS Vita one. It's a great open world shooter with fun RPG elements, but it's best enjoyed on a big screen. This Vita port just doesn't cut it. I put it in the dumpster pile alongside the Precursor Legacy and Resident Evil Revelations 2 Vita ports. In hindsight, I really think Gearbox should have just made an exclusive Borderlands game for the PS Vita instead of trying to port over the entire second game. That way, they could have kept it on a smaller scale and better take advantage of the Vita's hardware capabilities. But oh well, I guess it's too late for that now. The Vita is practically dead. Correction, murdered. Do yourself a favor and stay far away from this game.